Something snapped at Martinsville, and it might have just changed the entire NASCAR season, because what looked like a routine short track bump turned into a full-blown disaster, and now Bubba Wallace is at the center of a controversy that nobody in the garage is buying. At Martinsville Speedway, late in the Cookout 400, Carson Hocevar made an aggressive but clean three-wide move on a restart. Wallace didn't like it. One lap later, going into turn 3, Wallace drove hard into Hocevar's rear bumper, not once, but multiple times, until the number 77 spun across the track. What followed? A 12-car pileup. Major contenders wiped out. Wallace himself finished dead last. And Hocevar? Somehow, he kept going and finished 17th. Wallace said it was a misjudgment. The NASCAR world not buying it. Coming into this race, Wallace was sitting third in the standings. Fast car, strong momentum, a real contender. But Sunday didn't go his way. He was stuck mid-pack, frustrated and clearly pressing. Now layer that with Martinsville tight corners, constant contact, tempers always on edge, and you got a pressure cooker. Then a young driver like Hocevar makes a bold move. That's where ego, frustration, and split-second decisions collide. And here's the bigger issue. This isn't new for Wallace. 2022, suspended after spinning Kyle Larson. 2024, finally after hitting Alex Bowman under caution. There's a pattern forming, and inside the garage, people are starting to notice. Let's break this down like a race strategist. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a decision under pressure. At short tracks like Martinsville, drivers use the bumper all the time. That's normal. But there's a line between moving someone and driving through them. Wallace crossed that line. From a strategic standpoint, this is where it gets costly. He turned a bad day into a catastrophic one, lost massive points in a system where consistency is everything, took out multiple competitors and his own car. Even worse, he lost control of the situation. Because once you commit to that level of contact, you're gambling. You're hoping the other car saves it. You're hoping traffic doesn't stack up. You're hoping it doesn't come back on you. And in this case, it all came back. Now zoom out. When your own co-owner Denny Hamlin alongside Michael Jordan basically says you wrecked yourself trying to prove a point, that's a problem. When your own spotter Freddie Kraft calls it inexcusable, that's a bigger problem. Because internally, that means trust takes a hit. And in a championship run, trust is everything. The reaction has been loud and divided. On one side, you've got analysts like Steve Letarte and Kyle Petty saying this was intentional contact that got out of control. Clint Boyer called it out in real time. He was mad. Kevin Harvick admitted he's been there before, but also pointed out the consequences. Even outside NASCAR, Marco Andretti summed it up in 2 words: poor anger management. And then there's the voice that carries weight across generations. Richard Petty, who didn't sugarcoat it either. Fans, some say it's short track racing. Others say Wallace lost control and got off easy with no penalty. Wallace resets. He channels this moment into focus, cleans up the aggression, and comes back stronger at Bristol. If he regains consistency, he's still got the speed and the team to contend. This becomes a trend. More emotional decisions, more lost points, more internal tension, and with drivers like Tyler Reddick surging ahead, the gap could become impossible to close. Another incident like this that could end his title hopes entirely. So here's the real question. Was this just a racing incident that got out of hand? Or did Bubba Wallace let frustration cost him his season? Because at Bristol, tempers don't cool down. Days explode. And if these two cross paths again, this story might not be over. Drop your take below. Was Wallace justified or way out of line? And if you want more breakdowns like this every week, hit subscribe and stay locked in with SportsWire USA.